I stand at the kitchen counter, pressing the edges of my homemade cherry pie with fingers that know the motion well. Through the window, the Ohio summer light spreads across the granite countertop, warming my hands as I work. From the living room, the usual weekend sounds drift in, the low hum of baseball announcers, my father's occasional grunt of disapproval at a play, my mother calling after my nieces. Careful with that vase. Mom shouts, her footsteps hurrying across the hardwood. Ashley, can you please watch the girls? My sister doesn't respond. Instead, her voice, bright and professional, streams from her phone to her online audience. Ladies, this shawl is 100% cashmere, and we only have 5 left. VIP members, remember to comment first to reserve yours. I press the last crimp into the pie crust and slide it into the oven, setting the timer, then wipe my hands on the dish towel tucked into my waistband. The roasted chicken still needs another 10 minutes. The salad is ready in the refrigerator, dressing on the side. Everything timed perfectly for Saturday lunch, as always. I got a promotion, I announced to the room, my voice even, neither loud nor soft. Senior clinical specialist. They're transferring me to the Raleigh office. The baseball game continues. Ashley's sales pitch keeps going. Mom hurries past the kitchen doorway, chasing a giggling 4-year-old. No one looks up. No one responds. I remain in the center of the kitchen, my announcement dissolving into the air like steam. I shouldn't be surprised anymore by this sense of invisibility. And yet, it always finds a way to sting. Later, we gather at the dining table, the one with a scratch near my place I've polished countless times, never quite removing it. The food I prepared that morning sits in serving dishes I carefully arranged. Golden brown chicken with crisp skin, salad bright with red tomatoes and yellow peppers, warm rolls, and the cherry pie cooling on the counter. This looks wonderful, Dad says, speaking to no one in particular, already spearing a piece of chicken. Mom, Lily won't eat her vegetables, Ashley complains, barely glancing up from her phone as she continues typing responses to customers. Willa, would you mind cutting her chicken into smaller pieces? Mom asks, not waiting for my answer before turning back to Ashley. How are sales going today, honey? I cut Lily's chicken into tiny, precise squares while answering a question no one asked. The position comes with a 15% raise and a relocation bonus. I start in 3 weeks. Ashley's phone pings. $2,000 in sales today already, she announces, finally looking up. Mom and Dad both turn to her, their faces lighting with the special smiles reserved for her achievements. That's wonderful, sweetheart, Mom beams. Smart business decision taking your boutique online, Dad adds approvingly. The warmth of the chicken seeps into my fingers as I place it carefully on my niece's plate. But inside, I feel hollow and cool. I've learned to recognize this feeling. Not quite anger, not quite sadness. Something in between, a familiar disappointment that no longer surprises me. Mom turns to me only to point out a spill by the sink. Would you mind? She asks. I clean the spill, serve the pie, and wash the dishes. When Ashley's youngest drops his fork, I'm there with a replacement before he can even cry. When Dad wants more coffee, I refill his cup without a word. This is the rhythm we've built over years. They need, I provide. They ask, I respond. They overlook, I accept. This pattern extends beyond today's lunch. Last Christmas, I spent 4 days helping Ashley wrap inventory for holiday sales while she attended parties. 3 months ago, I used my vacation days to watch her children while she went to a fashion expo. 2 weeks prior, I drove Mom to 5 stores hunting the perfect shade of curtains for Ashley's living room. Ashley has the children, Mom once explained when I mentioned the uneven distribution of responsibilities. She needs more help than you do. The truth hangs quietly between us, unspoken, yet understood. Ashley manages the kids, her struggling business, and the constant drama that commands everyone's attention. I have nothing that makes me indispensable, only my willingness to step in. After lunch, while Ashley live streams her sales session and Mom takes the girls shopping, I sit at the kitchen counter composing a message to the family group chat. My fingers pause before typing, got my official transfer paperwork today. Moving to Raleigh, NC on the 15th. Promotion to senior clinical specialist. Very excited for this opportunity. I hit send, watching the message deliver with its familiar swoosh. One by one, read receipts appear. Mom, Dad, Ashley. No responses. Driving home to my apartment, the sun sets behind me. Unlocking the door, my phone pings. A spark of hope rises. It's Mom. She sent a photo to the chat. I open it. Ashley's daughter eating leftover pie, her face smeared with cherry filling. Caption, someone couldn't wait for dessert. Another ping, Ashley this time. Just hit $2,000 in sales today. New record. I set my phone face down on the counter. Alone in my silent apartment, a tear slides down my cheek, then another. I don't wipe them away. No one is here to notice. Moving day arrives. The final cardboard box slides into place in the U-Haul. I shut the door with a solid thunk, a chapter closing. My apartment stands empty behind me, a shell I'll never return to. The movers took the furniture yesterday. My phone vibrates. Mom's name flashes. Come home Saturday to watch the kids for your sister. Her live stream sales have a special event. I watch the screen, tapping my fingers against the metal door of the truck. 2 weeks since lunch. 2 weeks of silence after my announcement. And now this, a directive, not a question. I type back, I can't. I'm heading to North Carolina today. No apologies. No extra details. Just the plain truth. I slip my phone into my pocket and climb into the driver's seat. The engine hums beneath my hands, thrumming as I prepare to cross 3 states before nightfall. I switch the radio to an oldies station, the Temptations crooning about days gone by. Hours pass without a reply. The highways stretch endlessly, mile markers sliding past like memories. My 8th birthday, Mom hustling everyone outside for cake because Ashley, 12 then, had invited friends over. My high school graduation, Dad leaving early to fetch Ashley from a failed interview, missing my honor society recognition, my college graduation, the family arriving late, distracted by Ashley's recent breakup. My first promotion, the dinner I paid for, Mom occupied with helping Ashley browse apartment listings on her phone. The pattern emerges, spanning years like the endless highway. Not random incidents, but a carefully constructed pattern. The mountains of West Virginia rise around me and fall away as I push southward. My phone stays silent until Virginia. What do you mean you're going to North Carolina? Mom finally responds 7 hours later. I don't reply. Let her wonder for once. Billy Joel takes over the radio, singing about leaving home. I turn the volume up, one hand on the wheel as the scenery shifts. By sunset, I arrive in Raleigh. The air feels warmer, fresher. I park outside my temporary apartment, climb the stairs with my overnight bag, and collapse on the bed fully clothed. For the first night in 28 years, no one knows exactly where I am. The thought is dangerous, liberating. 3 weeks later, I'm settled. I can recognize my kitchen cabinets in the dark, know the fastest route to work, and have found a coffee shop that remembers my order. Small victories in an unfamiliar place. One Sunday evening, my phone buzzes. A family group chat notification. Family party this weekend. Aunt Susan's 60th. Come early to set the table and help with the kids. Mom again. I feel the familiar weight on my chest. They've forgotten or are pretending to. I can't tell which is worse. I don't respond. Saturday arrives. I spend it unpacking boxes, arranging books alphabetically, and placing framed photos of places, not people, on the walls. At 3:17 p.m., my phone erupts with messages. Where are you? Mom in all caps. Everyone's asking. Dad unusually chimes in. We saved you cherry pie, Ashley, with the least subtle bribe imaginable. Then at 5:42 p.m., the bomb drops. I never thought you'd be this selfish. After everything we've done for you. Your sister had to manage all the kids herself while I cooked. Your father had to manage the tables himself. You let the whole family down. I wait until after dinner, sitting on my new couch in my new apartment in a city I barely know. Then I call, no text. This needs a voice. Mom picks up on the first ring. Finally decided to take responsibility. Mom, I say, keeping my tone even. I moved to North Carolina almost a month ago. I told everyone. I sent messages. I can't come set tables in Ohio anymore. Well, you could have reminded us, she sniffles. Your sister was really disappointed. I'm sorry she was disappointed. How was Aunt Susan's party? Hectic. Especially without you here to help. Your father had to manage everything, she goes on, listing the inconveniences my absence caused. Not once does she ask about my apartment, my job, my life. When she pauses, I try again. The new position is going well. I'm learning. That's nice, dear. Listen, Ashley's thinking of expanding her online boutique and needs some startup money. Since you got that raise, we thought, I have to go, Mom. I interrupt. Someone's at the door. I hang up before she can respond. In the quiet of my apartment, a strange calm settles over me. Something inside clicks. For years, I've reached for their acknowledgement, and they've spent their time using me. They don't see me as a person, just a resource. The realization sinks in, not as anger, but as clarity. I've been waiting for recognition that will never come. I expect guilt to hit, the urge to call back, apologize, make amends. It doesn't. Instead, I feel lighter, as if I've put down a heavy bag I forgot I was carrying. For the first time, I don't call back. I don't explain. I don't apologize. The sun sets, long shadows stretching across my living room. My phone buzzes twice, then goes silent. I don't check the messages. There's grief in that choice, the mourning of a family I never had. But beneath it runs something new. Relief. The next morning, birds sing outside my window. No new messages. My absence hasn't changed them. They've just redistributed my responsibilities, grumbling as they go. I make coffee, watching the sunrise turn my walls gold. The world hasn't ended because I prioritized myself. Perhaps that's the most important lesson. Sunlight spills across the floors as I step out of the shower. It's been 2 years since I left Ohio, since I walked away from the family that never truly saw me. 2 years of raises, bonuses, and a life I built on my own terms. I dry my hair, catching my reflection in the mirror. At 30, my face has lost the eager-to-please softness it once had. My shoulders no longer slump forward, bracing for whatever task might come my way. Toby's nails click against the floor as he trots toward the bathroom door. His light brown curls still damp from his morning bath. He tilts his head, poodle ears raised in quiet curiosity. "Yes, Your Majesty, breakfast is next," I say, wrapping myself in a robe. My North Hills condo now feels like home. Unlike the temporary spaces I stayed in back in Ohio, the second bedroom serves as my home office, with certificates of achievement lining the walls, visible reminders of a career that thrives when not overshadowed by family drama. The coffee machine hums to life at the press of a button. While it brews, I prepare Toby's breakfast, his tail wagging in sync with our established morning routine. There is a calmness to these moments, a rhythm untouched by the constant notifications of a family group chat or sudden demands on my time. "Park after work?" I ask Toby, who responds with an enthusiastic circle dance that makes me laugh. I take that as a yes. The park has become our evening refuge. It's where Toby met Benji the Beagle 3 months ago, and where I met Jackson, Benji's owner. Later that day, Jackson stands near the dog park fence, running his fingers through dark hair streaked with early gray. At 33, he carries himself with the quiet confidence of someone building meaningful work. His rehabilitation equipment startup helps people recover from injuries, a purpose I relate to, through my own work with medical devices. "There she is," he says as Toby and I approach. "I was telling Benji you might stand us up for some medical emergency. And miss watching these 2 chase squirrels? Never." I release Toby from his leash, watching him bound toward Benji in a blur of paws and fur. Jackson leans against the fence beside me, our shoulders close but not touching. "How was the Cooper presentation?" "They loved the new device specifications," I reply, smiling, still adjusting to sharing professional successes with someone genuinely interested. "And the prototype testing?" 3 successful trials today." He gestures toward a bench. "Want to sit?" We settle onto it, a few inches between us, a distance that somehow feels more intimate than contact. There's none of the desperate need for closeness I used to feel with past boyfriends, the urgent need to hold their attention before they noticed my ordinariness. With Jackson, space feels comfortable, not threatening. The evening air carries the scent of grilled food from a nearby restaurant. My stomach reminds me I skipped lunch for the Cooper presentation. "Hungry?" Jackson asks, noticing my expression. "There's a new place that opened last week, farm to table. Supposed to be amazing." 40 minutes later, we sit across from each other at a corner table, the restaurant's exposed brick and warm lighting creating a private cocoon. I'm mid-story, describing a challenging client interaction, when my phone buzzes. The screen lights up with a notification from the family group chat, silent for months. My hand freezes over my water glass. A familiar tightness grips my chest, a Pavlovian response to family messages that usually lead to disappointment. Jackson glances at my phone, then back at me, but he doesn't ask. This is what I value most about him. He notices everything, yet doesn't pry or demand explanations for my reactions. I set the phone face down without reading the message. "Sorry," I say, Just old patterns trying to resurface. Jackson nods, understanding without needing details. Old patterns do that. Doesn't mean we have to follow them. No, I agree, picking up my fork again. We certainly don't. The waiter brings our entrees, and the conversation shifts to Jackson's latest design challenge. By dessert, the unread message is completely forgotten. 3 days later, my cousin Ashlyn is perched on my couch, Toby draped across her lap like a soft blanket. At 22, she's the only family member who's made an effort to stay connected since I moved. This place is gorgeous, Willa, she says, looking around my living room with genuine admiration. The warm lighting casts soft shadows across the furniture I chose piece by piece, a sharp contrast to the hand-me-downs in my Ohio apartment. Thanks. It took a while to get it right, I say, handing her a glass of wine and settling into the armchair opposite. How's the cross-country adventure going? I ask. Exhausting but amazing, Ashlyn replies, scratching behind Toby's ears. I've hit 12 states so far. Raleigh was worth the detour, though. It's nice seeing you. Happy, she says, as if realizing the word suits me. Perhaps she's right. The Willa from Ohio rarely had reason to feel happy. I am happy, I admit, surprised at how easily it comes out. Work's going well. I have friends. Jackson. My cheeks warm slightly as I trail off. He seems great from what you've told me, Ashlyn says, reaching for her phone. Mind if I take a photo? This room is seriously magazine-worthy. Go ahead, I laugh, watching her frame the shot, capturing the arranged bookshelves and soft glow of my favorite reading lamp. While she types on her phone, I bring our dinner to the coffee table, pasta carbonara from a recipe Jackson shared. It's nothing like the elaborate meals I once made for family gatherings that went unnoticed. Posted, Ashlyn announces, showing me her screen. The photo makes the living room look warm and inviting, but it's her caption that catches my breath. At my cousin Willa's home, her own place. A wonderful boyfriend and a life worth admiring. That's sweet of you, I say. Moved by her genuine support, neither of us expects how quickly the photo spreads through the extended family. By morning, Ashlyn's phone is flooded with notifications, likes, comments, and messages from relatives who barely acknowledged me before. This is weird, Ashlyn says over breakfast, scrolling through her phone. Aunt Karen wants to know your neighborhood. Uncle Rob is asking if you bought or rent. I sip my coffee unsurprised. They never showed this much interest when I announced my promotion. Oh, it gets better, Ashlyn adds, pausing. Your mom commented, so lovely to see how well our Willa is doing, as if she's been part of your life at all. Yet the hollowness in my chest, the old familiar feeling, doesn't come. Instead, I feel strangely detached, as if I'm watching strangers talk about someone who only happens to share my name. Later that afternoon, Ashlyn shows me a screenshot that makes me raise my eyebrows. It's a private message from Ashley to my mother. Did you see Willa's place? Looks expensive. You should ask about her finances. Remember those bonuses she got? Maybe she could help us. Your sister hasn't changed. Ashlyn's voice tightens with anger on my behalf. No, she hasn't, I say calmly. That evening, after dropping Ashlyn off at her hostel, I tell Jackson about the social media buzz as we walk our dogs along a tree-lined path. Are you going to respond to any of them? He asks, keeping his voice neutral. I'm not planning to reach out first, I say after a pause. But if they contact me, I'll have to decide how to respond. Jackson nods, taking my hand. Your boundaries are valid, Willa. Stick to them. I will, I reply, squeezing his fingers. Now, they can only take what I choose to give. At 11:43 that night, my phone chimes while I'm half asleep. A message from my mother lights up the screen. How have you been, honey? Your father and I miss you so much. Before I can process the sudden warmth after 2 years of silence, another notification arrives. Ashley this time. So happy you're doing well. Your place looks amazing. My heart races as I sit up, Toby lifting his head in concern. 2 years of silence and now this sudden attention? The final message hits like a bomb. We've booked flights from Columbus to Raleigh, arriving around noon tomorrow. The kids can't wait to see their aunt. I stare at the screen, torn between disbelief and a faint, almost absurd flicker of hope. Maybe they've changed. Maybe they finally see me. But the timing, right after noticing my success, tells a different story. My phone rings. Jackson's name flashes on the screen. I answer, steadier than I expected. They're coming tomorrow, I say. All of them. Flights are booked. His breath catches. That's sudden, very. What are you thinking? I pause, untangling my emotions. They probably wouldn't be coming if Ashlyn hadn't posted that photo. Probably not, he agrees. After a pause, if you feel ready, see them. But don't let them guilt you again. Setting my phone down, I notice my hands aren't shaking. The panic I would have felt 2 years ago has been replaced by something calmer, more deliberate. They're entering my space now, a life I built without them. And this time, I set the rules. I place the last throw pillow on the sofa, smoothing it with deliberate care. The room is perfect, every surface gleaming, every object exactly where it belongs. This is my space, my home, my rules. At 12:15, the doorbell rings. I count to 10 before answering, a small act of control that steadies my heart. Willa? Mom rushes forward, hugging me tightly. Her familiar perfume, unchanged since my childhood, fills the air. Oh, sweetheart, it's been too long. 2 years and 3 months to be exact. 2 years of birthdays, holidays, milestones, all without a single call. I return her hug with measured pressure, neither pulling away nor melting into it. Dad stands behind her, holding a box. Hey, kiddo. His hug is brief and one-armed, eyes already glancing at the TV mounted on the wall. Game's on today, Bengals playing. Ashley arrives last, her children rushing past her into my condo before I can even greet them. Your place is gorgeous, she says, air kissing my cheek. The girls are so excited to see their aunt. The girls barely know me, since Ashley never maintained our connection. Mom takes the box from Dad. We brought cake, chocolate. Your favorite. Strawberry shortcake has been my favorite since I was 7. I wonder if she truly doesn't remember, or if this is just another subtle erasure of who I am. Thank you, I say, the words rolling off my tongue with practiced ease. Let me make some tea. In the kitchen, I hear the television switch on, followed by Dad's satisfied grunt as he finds the game. The girls' voices rise as they dash around my living room, sneakers thudding against the hardwood. From the corner of my eye, I notice one of them pick up a crystal paperweight Jackson gave me for my birthday. Amelia, I call out, calm but firm. Please put that back where you found it. Ashley laughs nervously. Oh, they're just exploring kids, you know. They should respect other people's belongings, I reply, setting the kettle on the stove. In my home, we don't touch what isn't ours. A flicker of surprise crosses her face. The girl carefully returns the paperweight, casting a wary glance my way before rejoining her sister. Mom wanders into the kitchen, running her finger along the granite countertop. This must have cost a fortune, she says, her tone threaded with disapproval. Your place is extravagant. I like my home, I respond, pouring hot water over the tea bags. The company must pay you well, Ashley adds, leaning against the doorframe. What's the salary range for your role these days? I place cookies on a serving plate, taking a moment before replying. Competitive, 6 figures? She presses casually, eyes sharp. Do you get bonuses? Stock options? The benefits are excellent, I answer, lifting the tea tray. Shall we sit in the living room? Ashley's questions continue through our first cup of tea. Does my company match 401k contributions? How much is my mortgage payment? Did I have to put 20% down? Each query carefully assessing my financial standing. Her fingers tap faster against her cup with every non-answer, her smile tightening. Dad, I say during a brief pause in her questioning, how's your volunteer work with the Youth Baseball League? The shift works. For 10 minutes, the conversation moves to safer topics. Dad coaching, a cousin's new baby, Mom's garden club. I notice Ashley's shoulders tense with each topic that isn't about money. When her eldest knocks over a vase, spilling water across my coffee table, I rise immediately. Girls, I say firmly, in this house we sit calmly on furniture. We don't run or jump on the sofa. They're just children, Mom begins, her tone corrective but softened. Children need boundaries. I hand each girl a small book from my shelf. These were my favorites at your age. Mom's mouth hangs open, clearly unused to me taking control. Ashley's smile disappears, replaced by a tight line of frustration. You've changed, Mom says finally, setting down her teacup with a small clink. Yes, I agree simply. The room falls quiet, except for the baseball game and the soft rustle of pages as the girls, surprisingly, settle into reading. Dad shifts uncomfortably, Ashley exchanges a look with Mom, one I recognize from years of family dynamics, the silent signal that it's time to reveal the real purpose of this visit. Mom leans forward, exhaling deliberately. Willa, sweetheart, Ashley's been having a hard time. And there it is, the boutique. Ashley jumps in, voice tight but controlled. After 5 years in retail, I thought I was ready. I had the experience, the clients. The story unfolds with a practiced rhythm, like something rehearsed in the car on the way over. Ashley had opened her own fashion boutique after years of working for someone else. The initial investment came from my parents. The business closed within 8 months. The commercial lease I personally guaranteed left me $39,000 in debt. Their retirement savings are already stretched from helping with startup costs. They lean in together now, a united front. Mom's eyes wide with concern. Dad's expression serious. Ashley's lip trembles just so. You're doing so well, Mom says, her voice dropping to the tone she reserves for persuasion. You could sell your condo and help your sister. Dad clears his throat. You have a boyfriend with money. You don't need 2 homes. They've been here less than an hour and already know about Jackson. Someone's done their homework. Think about the girls, Ashley adds, glancing at her children. Help your sister, and they'll have their mother back. I'm barely sleeping from the stress. A hollow feeling spreads in my chest. Not heartbreak, but clarity. I see them now for what they are, the performance, the timing, the calculated questions about my finances. A memory surfaces, standing in my parents' kitchen, announcing a promotion and my words evaporating. Another, texting about my move, receiving only pictures of Ashley's children. Years of being ignored until I became useful again. Ashley misreads my quiet as hesitation. It's not like we're asking for a handout, she says, voice rising. I'll pay you back eventually. That's what family does, Mom adds, reaching for my hand. We help each other through hard times. Dad shifts, eyes flicking between the television and me. Your mother and I won't be around forever. I breathe slowly, feeling the weight of their expectations pressing down. But for the first time, I don't yield. Something has shifted in these 2 years apart. I'll think about it, I say, voice steady. Cracks appear in their united front. Ashley flushes with defensive anger. Mom's smile falters, unused to resistance. Dad returns fully to the game, sensing tension ahead. What's there to think about? Ashley demands. We're family. Yes, I say, looking at these people who share my blood but never truly saw me. We're family. But I'm beginning to understand what that really means. And what it doesn't. I sit perfectly still, calm on the surface, shielding the storm inside. 2 years apart have given me perspective. Yet here they are again, the weight of their expectations settling on my shoulders. They wait, confident I will comply. I've helped before, I say finally, even and firm. I've tried for years to be heard, to be loved. All I got in return was silence and expectation. I meet my mother's eyes, then my father's, and finally Ashley's. I'm done. Ashley's cheeks flush. But we're family. You can't just... That word, I interrupt, for the first time cutting off my sister, should mean care and respect, not debt collection. If being family only means I cover everyone's mistakes, then no, I'm not part of that family anymore. My father shifts, words forming and fading. Silence stretches between us. My mother's eyes glisten, tears timed to perfection. After all we've done, you're choosing money over family? Ashley accuses, voice rising. Remember when I helped you move? All the birthdays? The Christmases? Mom adds, voice heavy. Willa, we won't be around forever. Is this really how you want things to be? Willa observed as they deployed each weapon from their familiar arsenal of guilt, recognizing the pattern like a well-rehearsed routine. They had performed this dance for decades, and for the first time, she could see every move clearly. We wouldn't ask if we weren't desperate, her father finally said. A rare statement signaling they had reached their last resort. Willa inhaled slowly. When I got my promotion 2 years ago, I shared it at Saturday lunch. No one looked up. I posted in the group chat about moving to Raleigh. Everyone read it. No one replied. Her tone remained steady, presenting facts rather than emotions. Last year on my birthday, my phone didn't ring once. When I called Mom that evening, she said she'd been busy helping Ashley with the boutique opening. Her family sat in uncomfortable silence as she laid out the details. 3 Christmases ago, I spent 4 days helping Ashley wrap inventory. 2 summers ago, I used my vacation days to watch the kids while she went to the Fashion Expo in Cincinnati. For years, I've been your babysitter, your extra wallet, your convenient helper. Her gaze stayed firm. And now, after 2 years without a single meaningful call or message, you're here because you need money. Ashley opened her mouth to respond, but Willa continued. The last time we spoke, Mom, you hung up on me when I tried to tell you about my new job. That was when I realized my role in this family. She stood and walked to the front door. I think that's enough for today. The finality in her voice visibly shook her family. They gathered their things awkwardly, avoiding eye contact. Her mother clutched her purse tightly, her father moved stiffly, and Ashley shepherded her children toward the door, their earlier excitement replaced by tension. At the threshold, Ashley paused. I didn't think you'd become so cold, she said, intending to wound. Willa met her sister's gaze steadily. I didn't become cold. I became clear. She closed the door softly behind them. Standing in the entryway, Willa breathed deeply, feeling a long-carried weight lift from her chest. No dramatic tears, no screams, just quiet certainty that she had finally done what she needed for herself. Her phone buzzed with the first of many texts. Without checking, she silenced it. For the first time, she felt no need to explain or justify herself. The freedom of not responding settled over her like a comforting blanket. Later, she checked her email to find her family had already flown back to Ohio, cutting their visit short. Her inbox filled with increasingly desperate messages, her mother pleading, her father awkwardly seeking reconciliation, Ashley alternating between apologies and accusations. In the following week, distant cousins and aunts reached out with casual, just-checking-in messages, their interest transparent. Willa replied politely but briefly, declining to discuss the situation. 2 weeks later, Ashley sent a final email detailing the financial consequences her family would face without Willa's support. The boutique could close, the parents might need to sell their home, and the children would suffer. Willa read it once, then filed it away. The message only confirmed that nothing had truly changed. They still saw her as a resource, not a person. She closed her laptop and took Toby for his evening walk, leaving her phone behind. Outside, the North Carolina evening felt like an embrace, scented with magnolias and possibility. For the first time in years, she moved freely, unburdened by obligation. A month later, she returned to her routine. Today, Jackson arrives at 7. The warm sunset casts long shadows across her condo. He doesn't text or ring, just 2 gentle knocks that Toby recognizes immediately. Her poodle's ears perk up, tail swishing with anticipation. Ready? Jackson asks, his eyes carefully studying my face. He doesn't press for details or ask how I'm feeling after the confrontation. The lack of questioning settles over us like a quiet, comforting blanket. More than you know, I reply, taking Toby's leash from the hook by the door. In Jackson's kitchen, the scent of baked salmon and herbs fills the air, a recipe his grandmother once shared. I watch him move confidently between counter and stove, his hands steady as he plates the food on simple white dishes. Benji and Toby curl up on the rug, forming a perfect yin and yang of fur and contentment. We eat mostly in silence, not the tense quiet of my childhood, filled with unsaid words and constant caution, but something else entirely. Peace. The soft clink of silverware, occasional appreciative hums, and the gentle patting of the dog's shifting positions. After dinner, while rinsing our plates at the sink, I describe the scene to my family in my mind. My voice feels distant, clinical, as if I'm recounting a film rather than my own life. Jackson takes the plate, wiping it carefully before placing it in the cabinet. You did what was right for you, he says simply. 2 years ago, I would have launched into explanations, defending my choice with evidence and past grievances. Tonight, I just nod. The freedom of not needing to justify myself feels light, almost buoyant. Later, sitting on his back porch while the dogs explore the yard, a realization settles over me. My worth was never defined by usefulness. The constant service, the desperate attempts to be indispensable, all based on the mistaken belief that being needed equals being loved. I think about morning walks with Toby, now peaceful rituals instead of rushed chores. My recent promotion to regional director accepted without guilt. The dinner club where we discuss books, politics, and lighthearted shows, with no scorekeeping over who hosted last. You know what's strange? I say softly as dusk gathers. For years, I believed family meant blood relations, people you're stuck with. Now I see it's about choice. The holiday photo card on my fridge comes to mind. Jackson, our friends, and me at the lake last summer. Genuine smiles, unforced joy, no stiff poses, no color-coordinated outfits like my childhood Clark family portraits, just people who choose each other. Months later, my phone rings while I watch the sunset from the balcony. My mother's name appears, the first call since the confrontation. "Willa," she says tentatively, "I owe you an apology." We all do, I inhale and release, calm. "I appreciate that," I answer evenly. "I need time," I add. "Of course," she replies quickly. "Whatever you need. When you're ready, if you're ever ready, we'd like to try again. On your terms." I don't rush to respond. There's no urgency, no pressure to fix anything. "I'll think about it," I say, and we hang up. The next evening, Jackson and I sit on his patio, watching the dogs chase each other through the yard. The sunset bathes everything in soft gold. A quiet smile forms as I take in the peaceful scene we've created together. "What?" Jackson asks, noticing my expression. "For the first time," I reply. I'm not holding my breath. The words linger in the evening air, simple and true. Tonight was calm, and for Willa that is enough. If you were Willa, your family ignored you for years but returned only for money, what would you do? A. Help them out of family loyalty. B. Refuse but maintain contact. C. Cut them off completely to protect your peace. Comment your choice below. Sometimes the hardest part isn't forgiving, it's finally stopping yourself from waiting for them to change.